Hey guys, it's Jessie and this is our first grade end of year review video. So if you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. If you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back. If you do not know me, my name is Jessica, and to use my Instagram bio to introduce me really quick, I'm a child of God, I'm a wife, a mother to 3 children, pregnant with blessing number 4, and this was our second full year of homeschooling. We do have a 9th grader, a 1st grader, and our little one he was 2, and he was just being a 2-year-old, making homeschooling more interesting and challenging. Like I said, this is our end of year review for 1st grade, so I'm just gonna show you which curriculum we used, what worked, what didn't work. So our main base curriculum, if you want to say it like that, was My Father's World, and we absolutely loved it. So it is the teacher's manual, and we had a student notebook, her Bible reader, and her Bible notebook. Those were the main things we used. And what I like about their curriculum is the way how they teach the kids to read, the phonics approach. Me personally, I do not like to teach sight words, and I like the phonics approach, and I absolutely love that my child learned how to read with Bible stories. And it goes from the Old Testament all the way through the New Testament, and it's not every story, but important stories, and so that was really nice. Reading those stories really ties well together with the history part of the curriculum. You create a timeline from Old Testament all the way through the New Testament, and I think that really was one of my favorite things. They learn all the books, they recite all the books of the Bible, and I'm getting into this way too much because I do plan on making a separate curriculum review just for My Father's World 1st grade. So I'm gonna stop now. So this was just our main curriculum for reading, history, and writing practice, because they do have weekly copy work with Proverbs, and like I said, we loved it. So if you're new here and you do not want to miss the specific curriculum review, you can click the subscribe button below, so you get a notification when I upload that video. So My Father's World does include math. I decided that we're not going to use their math. We went with the program that we've been using, that I bought for kindergarten, and we used through kindergarten as well, and that's Matthew C. Alpha. I don't know what to say. This is a tough one. We struggled with this, not because it's a bad program, but it's a mastery approach program, so the kids shouldn't move on unless they mastered their facts, and I did it like that, and she struggled with mastering some facts, so we were stuck on some units for quite a while, and it got frustrating and boring for her and for me. And then there were times when we just stopped that curriculum, and I did try to get into the math part of the My Father's World program, and this is part of the My Father's World curriculum. And she did like using the colorful, she always called it the fun math, but so sometimes we did math things here, but I did talk to some moms online and ask for advice, and some said they just let their kids move on even if they didn't master all the facts, and if they did understand the concept and still needed to use the blocks to find the answer, they just did let them move on. So that's what we started doing, and it was really, I must say, she loves the blocks. She loves using the blocks. Sometimes she just had to get the 2 blocks she needed, and she didn't even put everything together. She just saw the blocks and she knew the answer. So I did let her do that, and even though she likes the blocks, I'm already going to tell you, for next year we're going to use something else, and I'm going to share this with you in a separate video. I'm not sure if we're going to sell the blocks, but because like I said, she does like the blocks. But Matthew C. teaches a couple of things in the beginning that I really liked, that were really helpful for her to understand place value, and to have an easier time to learn subtraction. So if the new program that we're going to use, if that wouldn't teach it in the beginning, I would definitely teach those things to my other children. I'm not saying it's a bad program, and I'm going to do a curriculum review about it. It just maybe wasn't maybe, you have to find out your child's learning style, and I have many friends that love Matthew C., and that's why we stuck around with it, because they're continuing to use it for 2nd grade. It just didn't really work for her, and that is absolutely okay. You have to work and use what works for your child. And I talked about it in my last video that I kind of sometimes struggle with the feeling if I failed her in math. She did great on the math test, so there's absolutely nothing to worry about her. So I'm okay with it, and we're just going to try a different approach next year. And that's the great thing about homeschooling. You can see what works for your child and work with your child, and buy the things that works for them, that makes learning fun for them. The other fun part that comes with My Father's World Math are pattern blocks, and this Pattern Animals book, that was lots of fun for them. Even our little one likes to play with those, so we're definitely going to keep this for 2nd grade and actually start using them for preschool as well. Now to the Bible part. For Bible, I read my big book of 5-minute devotions, and this is a super cute book. Even if you don't use My Father's World, I can highly recommend this. It's just a cute little devotion, and then a few questions and a Bible verse. We really like doing this, and we're going to continue to use this as well. And the other Bible part for my Father's Word was the stories, the timeline, and then memorizing the books of the Bible, and the weekly copy, like I said, the weekly copy work they need to do with Proverbs. We memorized that scripture as well. So that was the main Bible part. But I thought it would be nice to get something we can do together with her older sister. So we got the Apologia What on Earth curriculum, and I got a notebook for my 9th grader and a junior notebook. That curriculum is lots of reading. There are great stories in there, and I even still remember a few things it taught, and I think they were great. It was a lot, and sometimes it was just too much for my 1st grader, and she just couldn't listen anymore. And the other thing is, if you've been following me, you know that we did have a big overseas move. So last year we were still stationed in Europe. So before we left Europe last year, we took advantage of being there and did some traveling, and then we had the big overseas move, and then it was Christmas, and we were just trying to settle down here. So we did lose some time in our school year, and so having such a time-consuming Bible curriculum in the morning just didn't work for us anymore. So I cannot really say too much about this because we didn't use a lot, but like I said, I still remember stories, still remember things they taught about how God works, and so I must say I really like that part. For science, what I loved about the science part last year with My Father's World was that everything kind of tied together. That didn't happen this year, and it comes with those 3 books. We honestly didn't use them too much, but we're definitely going to keep them for references for our upcoming school years. So we didn't actually really follow that science part. What we did is, I must say, what I found out with my first grader is the AC just started. She learns a lot by reading living books to her. So science-wise, I just stuck around and read books to her that were interesting to her, that were about a topic that interested her. And after our move again, we were trying to settle in. She fell in love with Wildcrats, so she watched a lot of Wildcrats, and I know not everybody likes that, and I'm not the biggest fan of just letting the kids watch TV. But if we're at the zoo, or we were at the aquarium the other day, or we talk about animals, sometimes she just splurts out random facts about animals, and when we ask her where she learned it, she's like, well, Wildcrats, and we're like, guess it wasn't too bad, letting her watch those shows. So I actually, her main curriculum was me reading living books to her and watching Wildcrats, and that might not be the best teaching approach, but it worked for us. It worked for our situation with the move. It works with her learning approach, so I'm absolutely okay with it. And it's first grade, it doesn't need to be too crazy. They're still little, and so I really so I'm absolutely happy with how she learned and what she learned. So for art, My Father's World includes a curriculum. It comes with the Enjoying Art Together, and it's pictures, and then the artist, some information and questions. We didn't do it, but I'm going to keep it because we are going to start art study for 2nd grade. So I'm going to use this for next year. Father's World curriculum comes with the Drawing with Children book. I've read mixed reviews about it. We started doing it a little bit. I think there are great things in here. It's lots of reading in the beginning, and it does teach us great things. We just didn't stick around with it too much. I'm going to keep it, and see if we maybe are going to use it for another grade level. For 1st grade, we really didn't use it too much. I actually bought a different art curriculum, and that's Artistic Pursuits, and I think it's a wonderful program. She just didn't really like it. She didn't have too much fun with it. So about the 1st grade level, I can't say too much. My 9th grader is using it. She really, really likes it. She learned a lot. I'm definitely gonna try and use it again for 2nd grade and hope. Hey! So I plan on keeping this and use it for 2nd year unless we find something else. But when we moved here, we joined a local homeschool group, and they did offer an art class. So she attended an art class, and she had lots of fun with it. And they even had a little art show at the end. So her art was actually at with a local homeschool group, and that was fun for her. And then something else we did in first grade is this primary composition book, and it has some space to draw and then a space where the kids can write. So whenever there was whenever something exciting happened, she drew a picture and wrote a sentence about it. We didn't do it as often as I would have hoped for, but she did it, and I definitely want to continue with this for second grade. So this is everything we used for first grade. I feel like there was lots of it didn't work. I still think our first grade year was a big success. My main focus was that she learns how to read, basic math, Bible. She did some art, she did science. We are great. I learned a lot about what works for my child, what works for our homeschool, what's the way she learns the best, and I cannot wait to implement all those things in second grade. Oh, and then I just remembered the other thing we did for first grade was we started poetry tea time, and that was lots of fun. The kids always look forward to it. We do have to tweak it for next year, but that's definitely something we want to continue for the next school year. So like I said, there are going to be curriculum reviews, what goals for our next school year, and what we're going to use for second grade. So those videos are coming up. So again, if you're new here, you can click the subscribe button below. And in the comments below, you can share with me how your year went. What did you learn? Did everything work you used? You can share that with me. And yes, thanks so much for watching, and have a blessed day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.